My name is Adni Aljunied. Officially, it's Syed Abu Bakar bin Hussein Aljunied, a given name by my grandfather Adni Aljunied. And I'm representing Malay Art Gallery, which is established in 1972. My late father was collecting even before he started dealing in this. I grew up in my house, he was already collecting. Lucky to grow up in a big house where our grandmother is a matriarch and a champion for Malay culture and things like that. And yes, I loved it. Thankfully, the deeper you get involved and understand your culture and arts, the more you appreciate, the more you realize, and the diversity, the depth. So it's never ending. The Keris is an icon of this region, and it has attracted attention of people worldwide. It became a UNESCO World Heritage item in the year 2002, more than 20 years ago. Not many weapons of the world get to be in that status. It's very unique. No other weapon is like this. This is classified as a dagger, but its use, its manufacture, its aesthetic value, cultural value, it overshadows the weaponry part. The daggers evolve up to a stage where at first it is used as an overarm weapon, where it is held like overarm, and then there's a pommel on the top, and then the blade is broad and straight. Before it became an underarm weapon, and this happened during the Majapahit era. And the Majapahit era had a very long period of stability, nearly 200 years, where artisans are free, it is peaceful, trade bloom. It was a golden era. So in fact, many of what you see our culture now has its roots during that particular era. That started the Keris being less of a weapon, became more personal, became more talismanic, became more of a status symbol. Basically, the blade inside, the handle, the top sheath, and the bottom stem. Ulu, sampir, batang. In Malay, in Javanese, gageng, rangka, gandar. The blade is called the bila. Yes, the different region has got their own style and all that, but there is a basic similarities that all conform to, that go back to the first evolution of Keris. What is that? Don't look at anything. Close here and close here. You see a boat-like characteristic. You apply this to all regions, all Kerises. This is supposed to resemble a medium of transport. This is supposed to be someone sitting on a boat. And you have other regions also. The Keris stretches from southern Philippines, Mindanao, right down to southern Thailand, Patani, and everything in between. So the blade reflects the inside, which will cover the profession and the personality of the person. There are straight blades, there are wavy blades. Why straight, why wavy? The wavy blade is supposed to resemble something in motion. The straight blade is supposed to resemble something at rest. What is at rest, what is in motion, is the lifestyle of the person, but not a rule of thumb. A good example is between a farmer and a fisherman. A farmer would prefer a straight blade. Why? Because his lifestyle is a bit more stable. He faces the same thing every day, in and out, with a bit of changes with the season. As opposed to a fisherman, who today may go east, tomorrow may not be able to go anywhere because the weather is not good, and then go west later on. Usually also you associate a young man with a wavy blade because his lifestyle is still full of ambition and things like that. And you associate a straight blade to an elderly person whose lifestyle is already stable and all that. The shape of the blade will reflect the lifestyle of the person. Then the next part is actually the pattern that you have on the blade. And the pattern is called pamor. In English, it's called damascene forging. From the word Damascus, where the Westerners found out about the technique of using many different layers of metal from Damashq, from Damascus in Syria. In terms of the manufacture of the Keris, certain patterns are being sought after and they become rare because of the technicality involved in making the pattern appear is not easy. There are examples of Kerises where you've got gold inlaying works of, let's say, the naga or the lion at the base and all that. That's another guy. That's another professional doing a work called inlaying work. If that Keris has that, then you have 4 very individually skillful craftsmen to complete your Keris. Tarnishing of the image of the Keris has made people thought about Keris as something alive that needs to be fed with things like smoking it. And every scene you see of a black magic, Bomo will always have that one of his tool is a Keris, and with charcoal and incense. That era really captured the imagination of many locals. Maintenance is logical. Just like you maintain all other weapons, oiling of the blade to prevent rust. The misconception about the blade being smoke over incense. The intention here is to get heat from the charcoal, the red hot charcoal. Don't touch it, just above it, to fully dry the blade. Any moisture trap between the pores and all that can evaporate away, and then you oil it nicely. The lime juice, they will cut the lime using the Keris, and actually it's part of removing rust initially. So the second stage where you use arsenic called warangan. This is another misconception where, because it's poisonous, so they think this Keris is poisonous, but it's actually not. The intent is actually to etch the blade to bring out the different metal. Different metal react differently with the etching solution. No, one you can't have one. And through my experience, there have been pieces that I've seen that is mind-boggling. Just when you think you've seen it all, something comes to you and you start cracking your head. Why this is like this? And then start opening your books. And okay, this is a Keris from southern Thailand or Patani. It's called a Keris Tajong. This is a very unique region where the Keris handle is bent and has a protrusion at the front. This Keris is being misnamed by Western scholars who wrote first few books about Keris by calling it the kingfisher. It's actually not a bird, although it has a beak-like formation here. Closer look will see that it has got teeth, it has got fangs, it even has a beard. The protrusion is actually not a beak, it is actually the nose, it's a nasal horn. So this is definitely not a bird. And this shape is also unique from the region. It's a straight blade, and characteristic from that region of the blade is actually the spine. If you look closely, it's more of a triangular spine that stretches from the base right up to the tip. And this is a very good example of an old Keris and in excellent condition. This is an example of a Keris from southern Philippines called the Keris Sundang. It is arguably the longest Keris in the region. And interestingly, all other Kerises, the Keris is a stabbing dagger. But the Sundang evolved to become a slashing sword. It's got a handle that depicts a cockatoo bird at the tip here. But if you look at it from the front here, you can see also it's actually the face. This is the crow head, and this becomes the eyes and the mouth. This is actually the type of wood that tells you it grows under windy conditions. Then you have this effect. It's like three-dimensional. And yes, the blade is very long and broad. Long and broad, partly because it is a slasher. It's still a Keris. It has all the characteristics of a Keris. The only big difference between this and the stabbing Keris is actually the tang, the protrusion that goes inside the handle here. This is rectangular, as opposed to the others, which is rounded. When you have characteristic like this, you look at it from here, three-dimensionally, you see a face here. This becomes the mouth, this becomes the eyes. It is an icon that is world renowned now. You know, something we should be proud of in a modern way.